So, let's talk about something really cool. We're going to look at how you can take clothes that are maybe a little torn, stained, or just plain worn out, and instead of tossing them, you can turn them into a literal piece of art.
Oh, you know the feeling, right? That horrible, sickening sound of a tear in something you absolutely love. And your first thought is probably, well, that's it. They're done for.
And you know what? For most clothes, it is the end. Especially now with fast fashion and all that. Things just aren't really built to last. So they rip and they end up in a landfill. But what if that rip wasn't a tragedy? What if it was actually an opportunity? A chance to give that piece of clothing some real character, a story, and make it even more special than it was before. And that right there is the whole idea behind visible mending. See, instead of trying to hide the repair and make it invisible, you make it the star of the show. You use bright, colorful thread, cool patterns, and you celebrate the fix. You turn a flaw into a feature.
Now, this practice is rooted in a really beautiful Japanese philosophy called wabi-sabi. It's this amazing idea that the signs of wear and tear, the fades, the frays, the fixes, they're not ugly. They're proof of a life well lived. That repair becomes a brand new chapter in the object's story.
And the concept itself just breaks down so perfectly. You've got wabi, which is all about finding beauty and simplicity. And then you have sabi, which is about seeing the beauty that comes with age and change. Put them together, and that's the soul of your favorite, well-worn, and now beautifully mended pair of jeans. Okay, so the main technique that people use for this is called Sashiko, and it has some seriously deep historical roots. It actually started back in Japan's Edo period, and it was born purely out of necessity. Farming families needed their clothes to last, so they came up with this stitching method to make the fabric stronger, and hey, it looked pretty cool too. And here's a little detail I just love. The name, Sashiko. It literally translates to little stabs, which is, a perfect description of that simple, repeated motion of the needle and thread that creates these gorgeous, super functional patterns.
All right, so how do you actually do this? You're probably thinking you need a ton of fancy equipment, right? Well, the amazing thing about Sashiko is that it is so accessible. Let's take a look at what you'll need.
So these are the basics, the absolute essentials. The special Sashiko needles are a bit longer, which lets you load up a bunch of stitches at once for a really nice, even line. You'll want a thicker thread like embroidery floss in whatever color makes you happy, and then of course, a patch, some scissors, and pins. That's it. That's all you really need to get started.
Now here are a few extras that can definitely make your life easier, but I promise you they are totally optional. A thimble is a lifesaver when you're pushing through tough fabric like denim. A little beeswax can make your thread just glide through, and a ruler is great if you want to get really precise with your geometric patterns.
Okay, you've got your tools. Now for the technique. And this is the best part. You do not need to be an expert embroiderer. You don't have to know a million complicated stitches. In fact, you only need to know one single, simple stitch.
It is called the running stitch. That's it. It is the most basic stitch in the world. It's just that simple in and out, up and down line of stitches. Seriously, if you can thread a needle, you can do a running stitch.
And the process could not be more straightforward. First, you're going to cut a patch that's a little bigger than your hole. Place it on the inside of the clothing and pin it down. Thread your needle with a fun, visible color. Then you just start stitching rows back and forth, right over the hole and the patch. When you're done, tie a knot on the inside. Now the one key tip, don't pull your thread too tight or you'll get a little pucker in the fabric. Keep it relaxed.
So once you've got that basic patch down, you'll start to see possibilities everywhere. Because visible mending isn't just for holes, it's a tool for all kinds of creativity.
So picture this, you've got a shirt with a stain that just will not come out. Don't throw it away. You can just embroider a little design, like a flower, a starburst, whatever, right over it. The problem completely disappears, and now you've got a unique decoration. Or you can lean into the traditional side of things. Sashiko is famous for its beautiful geometric patterns. And what's really fascinating is that a lot of these old patterns actually had special meanings, like bringing good luck or offering protection. So you're not just decorating, you're tapping into a really rich cultural history. But honestly, this is the most important thing to remember. There are no rules here. There's no wrong way to do it. This is your chance to just play. Use crazy colors, layer different fabrics, make it messy, make it artistic. The whole point is to make something that is 100% you.
So as we start to wrap this up, let's just talk about why this simple act of mending is really so much more than just a craft project. It's kind of like a quiet, beautiful statement.
I mean, taking the time to mend your clothes, it just has so many benefits. It's great for the planet, obviously, because you're keeping clothes out of the landfill. It's awesome for your wallet, since you're buying less new stuff. But it's also just good for your soul. It's a creative outlet, and it really deepens that connection you have to the things you own.
Think about it like this. Every single stitch you make is doing so much. You're saving something from the trash. You're creating a one-of-a-kind piece that nobody else on Earth has. You're practicing an ancient art form, and you're embracing that beautiful wabi-sabi idea that there's real beauty in imperfection. There's this quote from mending expert Kate Sakuls that just says it all. She says, "Your mends can be wonky and flawed in your own." The beauty isn't in a perfect stitch line. It's in the care, the effort, and the new story you're writing on your clothes. So, the next time you find a hole in your favorite sweater or a rip in your jeans, I really hope you see it a little differently. Not as damage that needs to be hidden, but as a blank page, just waiting for you to pick up a needle and thread. So what story are you going to choose to tell?